here from Underground Training, and if you want to talk to somebody that knows how the industry works, the phone number's at the end of the video. Job hunt and mining information video. In today's video, we're going to answer a viewer's question about coming to Australia and finding work, and we're going to delve a bit deeper into a lot of these people telling you how to get a job. So first off, I just want to jump over to a slide that I did a little while ago just to illustrate something. And as you can see, this is the current makeup of the industry. So lithium and nickel are going bust, copper and gold are going boom, and coal and iron ore are treading water. Now, 2 years ago, when a lot of the people that are trying to tell you how to get a job got a job, lithium was in a boom, nickel was in a boom, iron ore was in a boom, and coal was doing a lot better than what it was doing right now. So there were just jobs everywhere. And the reason that I'm trying to tell you this is, if you're taking advice from somebody that got a job 2 years ago, basically anybody with a heartbeat that showed up 2 years ago got a job. Nowadays, it's a lot different, unfortunately. The reason why is because lithium has gone bust and nickel's gone bust and coal and iron ore are treading water. The only thing that's going boom at the moment is copper and gold, and these are the areas of the industry that you need to be looking for with your job. Now, if we flick over to this slide, it shows the different areas of the mining industry. And the reason why that I'm bringing this up is because a lot of the people that got jobs 2 years ago got jobs in shutdown work, construction work, civil work, and especially utility work. Where they're not looking for people at the moment, unfortunately, is in all these places. Where they are looking for people is on the production mining side of things, in the hard rock underground mines and surface exploration. So what happened to all these jobs? Well, the downturn in lithium and nickel forced a whole heap of places to go into care and maintenance, and that meant that there's not as much work around, which means that they don't need as many experienced people. Now, unfortunately, what's happened to the utility work is because there's so many people selling so many ideas about how to get a utility job out there that the employers at the moment aren't struggling to find people because they've got thousands of people coming in from overseas applying for these utility jobs, on a daily basis. It just seems to be the grind. And it's the same with the shutdown work as well. They've got lots of people coming in from overseas following the same path that somebody did 2 years ago that just got a job. But remember, 2 years ago, anybody with a heartbeat's getting a job. It's not like that now. So you just need to remember, when you're looking to come to Australia to get a mining job, you just need to understand what's actually going on in the industry at the moment. And like I said before, it's gold and copper that's booming. I just want to prove what's going on with the utility work by showing you a supervisor's job that's come up. And as you can see, it's for 92 to 99,000 a year. This is one of the things that I'm trying to explain to people. If you're watching a video from an influencer that got a job 2 years ago telling you that you're going to get $110,000 a year doing housekeeping, how are you going to get $110,000 a year doing housekeeping when they're only paying their supervisors 92 to 99? It's just ridiculous, some of the stuff that's put out there in some of these videos. And like I have said and keep saying through this video, 2 years ago, anybody with a pulse got a job. It's not like that anymore. And the reason that the employers can do stuff like this, especially in the utility roles, is because the influencers that are telling people to come to Australia and get jobs are putting that many people through that they've got that much choice that they really don't have to pay much more than $80,000 a year for a utility worker anymore, because you've got so many people coming to Australia that are prepared to accept those conditions to get a job and just do their time and get on with their holiday and do whatever they're going to do. It's just the way it is. It's almost like it's suppressing the wages unnaturally just because there's so much interest coming in from overseas. And that's one of the unfortunate things. But if you are coming in from overseas, and this is why I'm doing this question for this viewer today, and I've emailed you back, viewer, so with the response, but I just wanted to do the video to give you a bit more of a detailed response, is like I said before, there's two places that you need to be looking for work, and that's in hard rock underground gold and copper mines and surface exploration. Now, I wouldn't wish surface exploration on my worst enemy. I think the best play for a person coming in from overseas is to educate yourself using our training program so you can actually talk to them about how the language works. You need to make yourself an easy win for the employers. That's how you're going to get your mining job. The employer needs to be able to look at you and go, yep, you can already speak my language. I'm holding a conversation with you about how my mine works. I can throw you in the deep end. I can get you up and running straight away. If you come over and you're green and you turn up in the mining town and they've still got to put 3 months worth of work into you to get you up to speed, you're not that viable option. location. And that's the other thing. You need to go to where the employers need people. So my play from coming in from overseas, the best job that I reckon that you've got to getting in is something like a diamond driller offsider underground. You can target places like Kalgoorlie and Mount Isa for those jobs. They always need people. Once your 6 months is up, it's easy to rotate around into other jobs. The employers are open to it if you show up in these mining towns and can speak their language and be thrown in the deep end, because they need people like anybody else. And if they've got somebody that they can just throw in the deep end and get up and running within a couple of weeks, nobody's going to look that gift horse in the mouth. This is how I would go about getting myself a job. I'd educate myself wherever I was around the world using the training packages that we've got. The DIY package is a great place to start. And then I would come to Australia and head to a mining town, Mount Isa, Kalgoorlie, Cobar, something like that, and present myself as somebody that understands how the industry works and knows what they're getting themselves into. So the reason that there's all this activity in the gold section is because of the price. It's over $5,000 an ounce, which just makes it seriously nuts. This is where all the gold and copper mines are around the country. And like I said, there's lots around Kalgoorlie, up around Mount Isa. It's all copper and base metals up that way. Middle of New South Wales around Cobar, there's all this work. They're not going to want to fly you in and out if you're an overseas backpacker. That, again, 2 years ago, desperate for people were getting fly in, fly out, all that stuff was happening. Nowadays, they're not desperate for people, and over the journey, there's been a whole heap of people on working holiday visas that haven't exactly done a great job either, which has turned a lot of employers off, and which is, again, why I tell people you've got to go to the mining town, you've got to be standing in front of them, and you've got to be an easy win for them. That's how you'll get your mining job. We've had lots of people do it before. You can do it. It's still achievable. It's just about giving the employers what they want and making yourself an easy win. And if you come over to Seek and you type underground in, you'll see all the jobs come up. And, you know, this is a classic one. They take lots of people from us all the time, and they're just always looking for people up in Mount Isa, Calibre Resources. Experienced truck drivers, we get you to apply for these job ads because at the moment in the underground section of the industry, everybody's moving up. So with these jobs, if you've got 12 months truck driving experience, you're not really looking for another truck driving job. You're looking for a service crew or pace crew job to make that jump up into the next pay packet. And if you look through, you'll see all the service and pace crew jobs, and then the charge up jobs and the bogger jobs and the jumbo jobs. Everybody's desperate for everything because everything's ramping up with the high gold and copper price. Pace crew, they're looking for people. Underground truck, nipper, entry level underground truck in Kalgoorlie, Northern Star, Norton Gold, new project. Redpath have picked up a project, looks like at Cadia, and they need a whole crew for that, or a whole heap of crews for that. An underground truck. There's just work everywhere all over the country. And that's the way you're going to get into the industry if you want a mining job. But like I was saying before, you really need to understand how it all works to make sure that you make a good decision. And mining's not just one thing, it's a whole heap of different things. So if you come to Australia and you set yourself up for shutdown mining, you just need to be aware that there's a whole heap of experienced shutdown workers that can't get any work at the moment because of what happened with lithium and nickel. It's the same with civil work and construction. And like I said before, because of the influencers telling people how to get jobs, everybody's coming to Australia trying to get a utility job, which means that there's thousands of people applying for these jobs, and which means that the employers have got lots of choice, and that means that the wages go down. And like I said before, if you're watching a video telling you that you're going to make $110,000 as a utility, why the hell would Sodexo, the biggest utility company in the country that's got most of the contracts, be paying less than $100,000 for their supervisors and leading hands? It's just ridiculous. So that's the way the industry's working at the moment. That's the way it's all ramped up. If you want to try and get in, the best way in is to look at our DIY Introduction to Underground Mining package. It's $495, so it'd half that if you're overseas in pounds in the UK or wherever you are around the place. But yeah, the other good thing about the training, guys, is that when we wrote it, we wanted to give people an accurate representation of what they're about to get themselves into, to work out whether mining's going to be for them or not. And if you do the training and decide that mining's not going to be for you, then you probably saved yourself a whole heap of time and money, and you can draw a line underneath it and go and do something else and take your holiday somewhere else, or look for another career and pour yourself into something else. But if it is for you, then you've got all the tools to go and get yourself a job. And like I was saying before, the best approach if you're coming in from overseas is to head to Kalgoorlie, this section out here. It's about 600 k's off from Perth there, or Mount Isa, or Cobar in the middle of New South Wales. All those places are good places to go because they're desperate for people. But you can't just be standing in front of them telling them that you need to be trained and they've got to put 3 months into you. You've got to be standing in front of them, talking their language, showing them that you can be thrown down the hole straight away and just be brought up to speed like anybody else that they'd hire with 6 months experience. But you've got to make yourself an easy win. That's how you're going to get your job. I hope you found that information helpful. It's a bit different job hunt video this week. I just wanted to concentrate on those overseas workers. I get a lot of emails from people coming from overseas wanting to know about getting into the industry. The big advice that I've got with that is that if you're listening to somebody that got a job 2 years ago or 3 years ago, in that time frame, anybody with a heartbeat got a job. It's not like that anymore. It's completely different. And unfortunately, with what's going on with utilities, they've got a lot of choice, and the utility companies are trying to make money out of that choice. So I hope you found that information helpful, and if you want to know more about how the industry works, check out the training at undergroundtraining.com.au, or if you want to talk to somebody that can help you get into the industry, the phone number's at the end of the video.